welcome. How you bees? Welcome to Power Up Lunch and Learn. Oh, this is a real estate happy hour. Which one? Power Up Lunch and Learn. I'm Kerry Woods with MarylandHousePros.com, and this is
Harriet Golden One with I Golden One Realty and Concierge.
cool. And we got a special guest for you guys today. You want to introduce yourself, special guest?
I am Alicia
Got
Stooks,
talking to Mike.
CEO and founder of I'm Bruised But Not Broken.
Oh, cool. So we got some good stuff for you guys here today. So, but first, I wanted to talk about that government shutdown. But first, we want to talk about Harriet. What's the name of your company and what you do for real?
I Golden One for real.
Yeah, for real. This is not no joke.
I Golden One Realty and Concierge, and I'm a real estate broker and owner. So we sell real estate. Everything real estate is what we do.
Cool. Everything real estate. So
And,
since go ahead. I'm sorry.
and we do it with a twist to give you a unforgettable experience.
Unforgivable. So real estate concierge service. That's different from regular real estate. Concierge is something special, right?
Oh, absolutely. We do. We provide different services, and we're also global.
Sweet. So you actually the broker and owner. So you make all the decisions.
Somewhat.
Outstanding. But being broker owner, that means that you have some knowledge of real estate. You know what's going on in the real estate market. Now, with the government shutdown looming, how is that going to affect realtors and affect your business?
Actually, and I printed out the information because I wanted to be correct.
Uh-oh. Cool.
Actually, it affects us in many ways. However, one thing from the article that I read, like VA, because they consider that a instrumental part housing, they're going to keep moving forward. Fannie Mae, they're going to keep moving forward because they already have these funds allocated. The thing that I see is the biggest issue is IRS. They're shutting down, and moving forward, you can't get approved for a loan if they can't verify your income. So that will be a halt, and all banks aren't going to be functioning as well. So that's an issue because the money does come from the bank.
Wow.
So
So,
I have a settlement tomorrow, and that definitely will be affected, even though it's already been approved. I've heard that maybe, hopefully by Friday, we can move forward with that.
so as a person looking to sell my house in this market and somebody looking to buy in this market, what would be my concerns with the government shutdown
Who's going to buy it? That would be your concern.
and where the money's going to come from?
Where the money. But hopefully, like they said, certain funds are allocated depending on what type of loan they're getting. So hopefully that won't be an issue.
Okay, cool. So you want to introduce our guests?
Yes, yes. Alicia Stooks, and Alicia is a fellow realtor as well.
Oh, cool.
So, Alicia, you can give a better introduction of everything you do versus us. So, tell us everything about Alicia Stooks and what you do and who you are.
Okay, again, I'm Alicia Stooks. I am the CEO and founder of I'm Bruised But Not Broken. It's a local nonprofit in Maryland. We provide direct services and resources for victims of domestic violence. And we're still young yet. We actually got our 501 status in 2016, yet we've been making great strides in the county, addressing such challenges as temporary shelter, also being able to address certain issues as far as counseling, getting the ladies through survivor mode, because a lot of times that's exactly where they get stuck. And just helping them with the transition from being a victim to a survivor. As Harriet also said, I am a fellow realtor. So I also practice real estate in the state of Maryland as well as DC. And this government shutdown will have an impact on my closing tomorrow because it is a FHA funded loan for multifamily housing. Is for a condo.
Oh,
And
wow.
even though FHA is going to be processing their single family home loans, they will not be doing multifamily.
Oh,
So we're stuck in limbo.
that's crazy. Now, tell us more about your nonprofit. First of all, I got a question. Will the government shutting down affect your nonprofit in a good, bad way whatsoever?
Well, the government shutdown won't affect my nonprofit directly because we don't have government grant funding.
Okay.
Our funding has been in the form of grants, but from local municipalities like the city of Bowie, and then also other private companies. So we won't have a direct impact. But there are other organizations who may have government funding that may have some type of issue with their grants actually being processed or getting the funding that that grant was supposed to deliver to them.
Well, so that's going to affect you anyway because they're going to come to you guys because they won't be able to help these people.
Possibly, yes. Possibly.
So
Wow.
you may get an overflow.
We may get an overflow. And we've been actually getting quite a bit of calls here lately, specifically for temporary housing as well as just other resources that DV victims may need or be in need of. So yes, we've been getting quite a bit of calls here lately.
Okay. Well, speak more about your nonprofits. Tell them exactly where you guys are, how you came about, and what you do as a service for the people.
Okay, well, I'm Bruised But Not Broken was actually birthed out of my own personal experience as far as being a victim of domestic violence.
Okay.
One of the things that we have seen here in Prince George's County is that there are not enough resources available to us, and that other organizations like I'm Bruised But Not Broken that are in a nonprofit status or faith-based have pretty much been left to carry the weight of being able to provide the resources that victims in domestic violence have to have or that they are in need of. With I'm Bruised But Not Broken, we currently have a program called Am I My Sister's Keeper, for I Am My Sister. And that's a 9-month program where we have monthly sessions for 9 months. They're 2 hours long. And each of the sessions provides some type of facet that a victim of domestic violence would be in need of. So our November session, we did self-esteem. In December, we did actually a vision board session just to have the victims write the vision, looking for something greater in 2018. In January, which next Saturday, the 27th, will be our January session, we're having a session called Survivor Mode. And we have a life coach by the name of Valencia Clipper Davis who's going to be pouring into these ladies who are going to be participating. But it's also a sharing session for the ladies as well. They're going to be able to tell their story, share whatever, the whole story or a piece of it in some type of form or fashion in order to just release. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be somewhat of a release party, but, getting them out of survivor mode.
It's amazing. Prince George's County, correct me if I'm wrong, leads the state in domestic violence, right?
Yes, they do.
But they don't have a program set up to help these victims. They rely mostly on you guys, the nonprofit.
Absolutely. So Prince George's County, the government per se, doesn't have programs that they have directly funded.
Okay.
In 2017, they actually received a federal grant that allowed them to be able to give grant monies out to different nonprofit organizations that provide services for victims of domestic violence. But for direct funding from the county, they do not have it. We have one shelter that is ran by the Family Crisis Center that has 50, plus beds or 50 plus allocated slots. But when that gets full, the victims of domestic violence have to pour into social services. And if they have an income or their abuser who may have been a spouse or a parent of a child they co-parented together, they factor that into the equation. So resources are not always available to them by way of the Department of Social Services. Now you have the nonprofits and the faith-based organizations that step in and basically have to provide the tangible resources for the victims of domestic violence. So it's quite unbalanced, and the need continues to grow. On a monthly basis, Prince George's County will see anywhere 300 to 400 peace orders or protective orders issued from our county courthouse.
Wow.
Absolutely. In 2016, we had 20 plus deaths as a result of domestic violence. In 2017, we had several ladies who were injured severely because of domestic violence.
Yeah, I remember we lost a colleague by
Yes.
surprise to domestic violence.
Fellow realtor.
Speaking on it right now, so if anybody's going through domestic violence right now and they don't know what to do or what to turn, how can they get in touch with you?
They can reach out to I'm Bruised But Not Broken either by our website, which is www.I'mBruisedButNotBroken.com. They can reach out to us on Facebook. We are IBBNB on Facebook. We're on Twitter, again, IBBNB. We are also on Instagram at IBBNB. They can, once they reach out to us, someone will reach back out to them and give them a call and see exactly what's going on and what type of resources that they need.
Okay.
Right. And also, not only that, with the government not allocating funds and not having a grant in PG County, if anyone is interested in donating resources to you guys, can you let everyone know what you guys really need? Of course, monetary resources are always welcome,
Always.
but in the event a monetary is not available, you guys also need other resources that would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as Harriet said, monetary resources are always good, and they can be in any dollar amount. It doesn't have to be $100. It doesn't have to be $200. We had a holiday giving campaign where we were collecting gift cards, and we asked for a denomination of $25, but some people were only able to give 10. We utilize those gift cards to be able to give back to the victims of domestic violence because many of them are single family parents or single parents with children. And we were able to bless several families over the holiday season. But we're also in need of clothing. We take most definitely shoes, and specifically with the clothing for the ladies, we want to have suits, business suits, to help them basically thrive in a professional career. For the clothing on the children's side, most definitely, pants, tops, those type of things, socks. We find that socks are always in need. We also take donations for personal care items. We have our run and go bags, which are basically the the recycle grocery bags, the ones I'm talking about.
Right.
So we have those. We purchase them and we fill them with personal care items. So toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorants, whatever. Because whenever we have a victim that reaches out to us and they just need short-term housing, a lot of times they are leaving with their purse or nothing, maybe their ID. And so the run and go bags actually have the personal care items that they need just to carry them over while they're in that temporary shelter situation.
Cool.
Yeah.
So also, you guys need property too. So if somebody inherit a house or received a house through probate, they can actually donate that property to your nonprofit, right, and write that off on the taxes.
Absolutely. So one of the goals, one of our objectives for 2018, prayerfully, is to be able to open our own shelter.
Okay.
And we believe that we're going to be able to see this manifested because of the fact there is a need for another shelter in Prince George's County. I'm Bruce But Not Broken is basically stepping out to take the challenge on to open up a shelter. It may be a single family home that starts off offering 4 rooms or whatever, but it will be something that would be added as a resource within the county that will offer shelter to those in need who are victims of domestic violence.
Cool. So, guys, if you inherit a house or you're thinking about selling a house at a discount, got a house needs some work, give us a call. We can definitely use that property, through the regular resources of the real estate, or we can actually get that property fixed up and give it over to the nonprofit again. So, give us a call, and they can reach Harriet at
240-229-1398. And in the meantime, before you get that shelter, because you're definitely going to get it in 2018, we're going to speak that
It's
into
already done.
existence.
Yes.
It's already
A lot
done.
of times, like you said, people are leaving their situations just with a purse and no clothes, with nowhere to go. And a lot of times, you guys can't house everyone. So that's one of the ways they allocate the resources to putting them up in a hotel. But are you guys opposed to, suppose someone's like, hey, I got all this room and I have a room that I'm willing to allow someone to stay for 30 days or whatever time is needed. Is that a avenue that you guys also take?
It is. And I actually had someone that I sheltered for a few months over the summer. So if in fact we have someone that wants to partner with us and open up their home and say, I'm willing to have that victim come in and provide them with the shelter that they need, a room, so on and so forth, we would most definitely have a discussion with them, make sure that it's going to be a good fit for both parties, because again, this victim is coming out of a volatile situation, so we want to make sure that their safety and security is first and foremost. And then be able to connect the two individuals and make it work. Yes, absolutely. And also too, if there are any homeowners who have rentals, specifically condominiums, that you're willing to allow victims of domestic violence to come in, and rent, that would be awesome. We currently utilize that as one of our options for victims who need a permanent place to stay, and they have completely relocated. So
Oh,
yes.
okay. Cool. That's great to hear.
Great. And this is just not for PG County because in some situations you guys have to relocate people outside of the county. So they're open to donations from DC, Montgomery County, Charles County, wherever, preferably on a bus line because the folks most don't have transportation and they do have to go to work if they're working. And also, I'm sure there are situations where folks need to find a job as well. So if you have those type of resources and you're open to hiring, please reach out to Alicia Stooks and set that up.
You say transportation. So if somebody donated vehicles, will you guys be able to use that?
We would be able to use that. Of course, it would be a tax write-off to them because they're donating it to the nonprofit.
Okay.
What we would have to do is just make sure that the vehicle's in good condition,
Right.
and that we, the nonprofit, will not have any expenses as far as having to repair it. Maintenance is one thing, but repairing is another. And based off of our 2018 budget that has already been approved, that would not be a budget item that we can take on.
So if it needs a transmission or an engine, the doors work,
Yes.
but the engine does. So that's not a vehicle they're looking for.
Yes.
So, but if you have a vehicle that's in good repair that you're willing to donate because you're not using it, it's just sitting there, it'd be more than welcome if you can donate it to a nonprofit. And like you say, you still can get that tax write-off right now, right?
Absolutely.
Sweet. Let's see, what else we got?
Basically, this is so overwhelming and it's close to many women's hearts as my own. And we wanted to bring Alicia on first so we could cover this, and then we can get into the midst of real estate. But I'm going to briefly, because the brokerage has something going on. So hopefully they tuned in because there was a lot of information that Alicia gave out that would go towards our next brokerage contest. So hopefully they are paying attention. And also for the guys at my brokerage, I briefly touched on it the other day, but no one can give a better explanation of everything that's going on better than the CEO of the company. So please reach out to Alicia for donations and providing whatever she may need. We definitely need this in PG County because it's so hard. It hurts your heart to hear every week that something is really going on of this magnitude. And people, men, women, and children are definitely affected because you don't have to be a woman to be in a domestic violence relationship.
Okay, speaking of for guys, if a guy comes in and has been abused, do you have shelter and stuff for that guy too?
We would not turn any victim away based off of their gender.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, during our holiday giving campaign, we actually provided Christmas resources to 2 single dads.
Sweet.
They both had 3 children each, so we provided toys for each of the children, as well as gift cards to Giant so that they can do their holiday meal.
Okay,
Yep.
so guys, if you're getting beat up, swallow your pride. You're already getting beat up. Come, call the shelter. I'm just saying.
I'm lost for words when that comment.
I'm just saying. They already getting beat up. Might as well
don't
come
think
get help,
that's a
right?
Joking matter.
That's not joking. That's for real.
Well, no, you got to realize domestic violence is just not physical. It's
Right.
also
Mental
verbal,
and verbal. Yeah, actually,
emotional.
I know somebody's going through that right
financial.
now. A guy's going through the mental abuse. And you can tell by the way he acts because he's never mind. But he's going through mental abuse. I can tell.
Yeah.
So he needs some help. I'm gonna put him in touch with you too.
Okay, please do.
Oh, great. I'm just so excited that this is out on the forefront where people can feel more comfortable. It's a day and age where people feel more comfortable coming forward because that's one thing that hinders when you're in an abusive situation. People judging or believing or coming to folks' aid. So there is aid out there. And here you go. This is a platform where you can get information.
One more question before we let it go. If you know somebody that's a victim of domestic violence, but they're afraid to come forward themselves, can we contact you guys and have you reach out to them?
Absolutely. And we see that all the time.
Okay.
A lot of victims of domestic violence actually go and they hidden. They don't actually share it with friends or family members or anyone. They basically just walk in silence, or they're operating in silence.
Oh, wow.
And in some cases, it ends in injury or death. What we try to do is advocate for those who are living in silence as well, to say, hey, there are resources out here for you. We're willing to help. A lot of times they operate in silence because of fear, shame, humiliation, and the fact that they have nowhere else to go if they wanted to leave their domestic environment.
Wow.
So we have to be able to address those issues. Let the victims of domestic violence know that there's no shame in it and there's no humiliation in it. We most definitely understand that domestic violence will leave scars with you, not only just the physical scars, but also the mental and the emotional scars as well. But that's why organizations like I'm Bruised But Not Broken exist, so that we can help you through that phase. And that's why we're having our session on Saturday called Survivor Mode, because that's exactly how Survivor Mode operates. You're seeing all the aspects of domestic violence.
And Saturday, what time and where's the location on Saturday?
It will be Saturday, January 27th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It is at the Bowie City Hall, which is located at 15900 Excalibur Drive in Bowie, Maryland.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's cool. So, what about volunteers? Do you guys have room for people willing to volunteer?
Yes, you just told me you were volunteering.
Who?
We do. We always love to have volunteers join our cause. Specifically,
Yeah, I think
if
I
you
got
have
time.
one community service, you want to give back to your community service. You may have been a victim of domestic violence yourself or someone in your family, so you can understand exactly the need. If you are someone that has life coach skills, or a social worker, a counselor, job coaching, employment resources, housing resources, we have a need for every facet. So yes, reach out to us again at www.I'mBruisedButNotBroken.com. We're on Facebook, IBBNB. We're on Twitter, IBBNB, as well as Instagram, IBBNB. You can just say, I'm interested in volunteering. You can email us. We are at I'm Bruised But Not Broken, IBBNB at gmail.com. Again, just saying, I want to volunteer. And trust me, I will find something for you to do.
Picking up trash outside the road.
No, literally, you will be, in most cases, paired with one of our ladies, or you will help us with our program of Am I My Sister's Keeper?
Okay.
Yep. And we're actually trying to launch a new program that will discuss teen dating, because we're actually seeing a
you
rise
did speak
of
on it.
abuse in teen dating. And that program, we're hoping to be able to take into the middle schools, the high schools, and at the college level as well, because teen dating and that abuse is not so much as physical as you would believe, but more so verbal
Wow.
and emotional. So I was sharing with you guys when we were talking about
Right.
it, about a Snapchat that I saw, and the young lady was sharing it with me, and the young man was someone she was dating and very abusive with the language that he was using. And for her, it was okay. And I said, that's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
She must ain't got no uncles, no brothers and dads or something.
Well, a lot of times they don't share it with
Right.
their family members.
Yeah. That's true.
And I have another question. What about sponsorship? Are there any circumstances where somebody wants to be involved and they say, hey, I really don't have this time. However, I would like to sponsor a family or sponsor an individual who comes in.
Yes, we do take sponsorships. We actually had two of our colleagues who are with Pride, Set 'em in a Title, Leanne Rodriguez and Lee Hartman, who sponsored a family over the holiday season. But not only just the holiday season, this young lady was also being placed into a new apartment, and those two ladies, along with their circle of partners, basically were able to bring forth furniture items, food, bedding, all of that to help this young lady get set up in her new apartment. So yes, we do love sponsorships, because again, if we're placing a family or placing an individual in a new apartment or a room, whatever, a lot of times they don't have those things. So if we can have sponsors to say, yeah, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to get all of the bedding, or I'm going to donate the bed or the television, whatever it is, we love that. That helps us be able to support our intake.
Cool. So can you get us a list of your sponsors so we can support the sponsors that's supporting you guys?
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to support those sponsors that's supporting. So if we can't help ourselves, we can definitely support those sponsors that's helping the nonprofit.
Right, and people definitely contact Alicia if you're interested in becoming a sponsor as well. Whether it's a business, individual, whatever, that's a great resource as well.
Absolutely. And we are looking to do our next big drive for sponsorship will be for Mother's Day again, because a lot of our clients are single moms. So we want to sponsor them, basically let them have a great Mother's Day in some shape, form, or fashion. And then, of course, back to school is really big. So sponsoring that family who, again, single mom, single dad, who has children, and being able to make sure that they have the school supplies, clothing that they need in order to have a great school year.
Okay, cool. That's
So those
great.
are two opportunities right there, you guys. Jump on the boat.
So, hey, it doesn't make money, just time, right?
Yep.
Cool. So, great. What else? Yeah.
You know, I'm just so excited that it's 2K18.
Yeah, 2018.
And we are moving forward with so many great things, and having this platform, we want to bring on different community services, different nonprofits, because we want to mix in not only talking about real estate and business all the time, but it's
Thank you,
about
Pam.
giving back to your community.
Absolutely.
So if you have a nonprofit, or you have information on a nonprofit, or you have resources and information that will help the community, please reach out to us so you can come on and share it with everyone who's listening in. So thank you. Alicia, do you have anything that you want to add? Because we're going to take a quick break and bring Kelly on in a few seconds.
I just want to thank you guys for one, answering the call.
Oh, you're welcome.
Just so that Facebook knows, I reached out to the Harriet and Carrie. You guys were on a cruise or something, right?
Yeah.
But Harriet responded. She was like, I will get back to you as soon as I get, back stateside, and we will connect. Was able to meet with them, share with them, just the passion I have for Armed Bruised But Not Broken and victims of domestic violence, and just what I wanted to do as far as trying to have a shelter manifested. And you guys said, okay, we got you. So thank you
Oh, you're welcome.
for being able to just partner with me with that. It really touched me. I didn't get a chance to say that to you guys when we met. And then also, too, thank you for having this platform for reaching the community. It's
thank you.
awesome. I feel privileged to be able to have come on and talk about Unbruised But Not Broken. So thank you guys.
Oh, you're
for
very
that as
welcome.
well.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you are definitely welcome. And one thing I'm going to share, and then we're going to take a break and bring Kelly on. I have for the past 4 years, we have a group. It's called Wealth, Health, and Empowerment. And we have a tea every March, a Women's Big Hats Empowerment Tea, where women come together just to honor women. Last year, we honored women in the community who was business owners, and it was ironic that Alicia had reached out to me because we were picking people who we were going to honor this year, and we're honoring women who have went from tragic situations, and they were able to triumph. So we have been speaking about it and we're saying, hey, we're going to have her as an honoree. And then she reached out to me. And most people who listen in know I'm so connected to the universe. I think no thing happens by coincidence. So she's going to be one of our honorees. And not only that, I spoke with the girls last week. After I met with Alicia and discussed I'm Bruised Now Broken, some of our ticket proceeds would definitely go to assisting you guys.
Yeah.
Because I've been in that
Sweet.
situation before, and I know that sometimes, especially young people, you don't have anywhere to go. You don't want to tell your family members because you're like, I don't want to get anybody hurt. And at the same time, you feel shamed, emotionally disconnected, and your self-esteem is so battered and beat up that you're just at a loss. So it is a great cause to donate to, and it's happening every day, and I'm sure it's happening in so many of you guys' family, and you don't even know because that person is quiet. So always try to look for signs. And people in those situations, a lot of times they alienate themselves from their family members and from their friends. So go check in on them. Um, and again, reach out to Alicia for any donations, sponsorship, to be involved in any way. Nothing's too small, nothing's too large. And thank you. And quickly, we're going to take a break and bring Kelly on.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Moral of the story is, one for my brother when I want for myself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good. Everybody living good. One for my brother, what I want for myself.
Sun is shining, the air is clear. My folks are smiling, no need for fear. The kids are learning what they should learn. Finally, folks are earning what they should earn.
I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good. Everybody living good. One for my brother, one for myself. If there's enough for one, there's enough for two. It starts with me and it starts with you. It's complicated, but it's simple too. Just like patience, sharing is a virtue. Show folks where you stand. Lend a hand when you can to your fellow man. Over plan for the day when you can't work the way you used to. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good. Everybody living good. One for my brother, one for myself. All my people, yeah. All my people. All my people, yeah. All my people, yeah. All my people, yeah. All my people. All my people. Oh, 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 oh. I want all my people around me. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody's eating good. And everybody's I want all my people around me. Everybody living good.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy New Year. I haven't seen a lot of you in a while. How's everybody?
Great.
Great.
Great. How are you?
Good. I'm Kelly Vaughn, and I'm an investor and a real estate agent. And I've been doing this for a little while, but just got started in investment. And 2018 is going to be a good year.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yes. It is. I'm excited about 2018. It's the best year ever. It gets better every year.
Yeah.
So tell us what you work. Why you look so excited about 2018? What you see? What you forecast?
So for myself, I'll be getting into more commercial.
Sweet.
Commercial, I have had the opportunity to hook up with developers in Baltimore, and they are allowing me to invest my money with them, to bring others in,
Sweet.
and to actually kind of like wholesale the deal where
Isn't that
I
sweet?
bring investors in, I get a cut of the profit as they invest. But the cool thing about it is anybody can do it.
So you can actually earn while you learn.
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet?
And they have agreed to actually mentor me, and so they have a lot of connections with city officials, state officials. So when the deals come up in the area, they pretty much get first dibs on it. They know about it, and if they don't want it, then they can pass it off to another company.
That is so cool. You got to connect. So we need to get in touch with you. How do we get in touch with you for commercial? How do we get in touch with you? What's the name of your company?
It's Mystic House LLC. 240-466-8166. And I'm going to be breaking into the Baltimore area.
So
I've
are we.
never, touched Baltimore, not really familiar with it, but now that I'm getting the connections, it's definitely going to open up doors.
It's funny you said that. Was looking at some numbers and statistics from last year from Baltimore, and it's like, man, we're missing out. It don't make sense. So we had decided as wholesalers on the residential side that we actually moving into the Baltimore market. So, that's on our agenda, and actually working on a couple of projects right now, like in Baltimore. So we made some connections with some people that's like, I think is really nice. I was excited about that meeting we had with those guys. I'm like, man, this is cool. But I was looking at the numbers in Baltimore. I'm like, man, this is great. We've been missing this out because I just looked at Baltimore as like something I want to stay away from. Mm-hmm. But when I looked at it differently when I seen this and that, and then talking to these guys, like, no, you're looking at it totally wrong. So I'm like, wow, you're right. So yeah, definitely Baltimore. And Baltimore is really coming up and coming. So you see all the development that's coming ahead. So the opportunity. Yeah. So guys, if you're not in Baltimore, you're missing out right now. So is it too late? If I want to go into Baltimore, is it too late to move in and take advantage of that opportunity?
No, and that's it. They are consistently having projects. And so for all of that money that we're making when we're doing our investment, the wholesaling, the rehabbing, you have to have somewhere to put that money.
Right.
To have passive income.
Right.
So you do want to start looking at what else you can invest in. And if you can get into development, especially in commercial, that is going to bring you a better return than just having your money sit in the bank or having it sit, in your IRA or your 401k. And even if you're not in investing, but have your 9-to-5 job and you just have money rolling over into the 401k, it would be a perfect opportunity to take that and invest in a commercial deal. And like I said, you also get to learn too while we're going through the process.
Sweet. I talk about that all the time, guys. You got money in the bank. It's just sitting there. The bank is making money off that money. Excuse me. Just as hard as you work for that money, you put that money to work for you. You said passive income. I love passive and residual income. So is that one of the reasons you got into that side, to get that passive and residual income?
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'm learning too is that when you buy and hold properties, don't just, like, say if you're going to buy up a bunch of row houses
Right.
in Baltimore, don't just buy them and then rent them out to, say, like Section 8 or just a normal renter where you would be making like $1,500 or $1,200, but turn it into a commercial income producing property where you can make 3 to 8 times more money. Turn it into an Airbnb. Rent the entire house out. They have row houses now that are doing the home away Airbnb, $400 a night, sleeps 10 to 14 people, some of them. And I've actually been able to walk through some of those and see the finished product of them. And to have some too that are at 75% full.
Oh, wow.
Year round.
Year round?
Wow.
Well, man, I got some timeshare buddies on here. Might not like what you're saying. so, hey, to my timeshare friends, I didn't tell her to say this. Hey, sure, I put you out of business. So the Airbnb, we were speaking on that earlier too, how that's a great potential, especially for where we are. Everybody from around the world want to come to the D.C. area, and it's like downtown is pretty much unaffordable, can be unaffordable for a lot of people, or if it's a big event, they have nowhere to go. I know during one of the inaugurations, we had the students at the University of Maryland renting out dorms because it was just so full. All the hotels were full, the motels, there was nowhere to go. People were renting out. So that's a great idea there. So any particular area, I don't know if you want to give away your secrets, any particular area in Baltimore that's better than others?
Well, right now, of course, there's still a lot of opportunities in the prime downtown.
Okay.
And that's around the Federal Hill, the Little Italy area.
Yeah.
So you just have to do your research, but pretty much like anywhere in that 2 mile radius of the stadium and all of that, there's still a lot of development opportunities down there. And really, you just need to, drive around, ride in for dollars, figure out the territory. If you don't know the territory, hook up with someone that does to take you around and show you where the good investment spots are.
So what if I got like $20,000 in a 401k and I say, hey, look, I need more money. Kelly, can you take this and do something with it? Will you be able to take that money and do something with that?
Absolutely.
Cool. Would you mentor and partner too?
Yeah, it would.
Oh, sweet.
And
Guys.
Another good thing too is like when you're wanting to get into bigger commercial deals,
Uh-huh.
and if you say you have 20,000, someone else has 20,000, you can actually form an LLC to come together, put the money in, and then invest as one entity.
That's it. Yep. There you go. So you can take all the different IRAs and put them into one LLC and just use that LLC the best. That's sweet. That's sweet. Cool. Kelly
Real
got some
estate,
knowledge.
you have to love it.
You got to. Got to.
And quickly, because we didn't, I have a quick question for you. With you being a realtor and an investor, give us a history of how you started in real estate and where you are now.
Okay. Well, I've had my license for 10 years, but
Oh, wow.
I didn't even do it full time until about a couple of years ago. I originally worked for the government and contracted for them for years, and also had my real estate license and just did it part-time. And so then when I really decided, okay, after my contract ended with the government, I said I can either do this real estate full-time or I can take another position with the government. And they did offer me another position, but I turned it down. And I said I'm going to go ahead and do real estate full-time, see what happens. And of course, the first year didn't come anywhere near, where I wanted to. But the second year, everything just fell into place because my motivation was on point. And I figured out what it was that I really, really wanted to do. So aside from the retail side of it, I do really love the investment part. I'm really passionate about it because it brings in multiple streams of income and multiple opportunities, and the people that you meet are just, it's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You didn't even know they existed. Like, man, where these
know.
people come from? Like,
I know.
and the knowledge is like, man, and you just enjoy it. You get so much. It's a whole different level, right?
Yeah. And I would tell people, encourage people to just ask. Don't think because, they're not going to help me because, I don't know anything about it, or they're not going to spend the time. Like, people are willing, and a lot of people are willing to give you information for free. They're really willing to take you in as long as you just have the motivation, the want to, and they can see how bad you really want it. But then also, too, have enough courage to, I guess, put your money on the table as well.
Right.
Because you
Put
can't
some
be
skin in the
scared
game.
to invest in real estate. Yes, there are risks with everything, but you owe it to yourself to find out, what you can do and to challenge yourself.
That's cool. Yeah, I talk about it all the time, guys. Millionaires are so forthcoming. They tell everybody. They will down there tell you, and they say, hey, this is what I did. This is how I did. They give you all their systems, give you all their steps. Everybody I know that's millionaires, they so open about how they earn their money. They actually give it to you. It's no secret. But they know the majority of the people is just not going to take action. So if I built a whole system out and say, hey, follow this system, it'll take you to be a multimillionaire, and gave it to you, just gave it to you, how many people would follow it? They know about 30%, and out that 30%, only 1 or 2% going to actually follow it all the way through. So that's great, man. That's great. So any advice for somebody trying to get started in real estate investing? Where should I start at the commercials? Should I start with the rentals? Should I start with the rehab? Where should I start?
I think that you should look at the people that you have around you
Okay.
first to connect with. Because it doesn't necessarily, I did start out in residential, which I'm not going to say that one is easier than the other, but I have had jobs in the past where, like, I've worked with architects
Right.
because my background is in interior design too. So that could have, so I was actually gaining knowledge from that and working and seeing how jobs are bid for, the architectural plans, all of that. So I would say to start where you have an in. Look at the people around you, see what they're doing, and just reach out to them and ask, if they will show you the way. Because it is really that simple. We make it more difficult than it is, but just many doors are open with just asking a question.
Especially here. We're here, man. We're in the nation's capital. I'm like, you got some of the most intelligent people in the real estate field right here. And some of the most expensive property in the world right here. Like Baltimore, they got some of the oldest brownstones in the country right there in Baltimore. I mean, it's absolutely great. I'm excited for you, man. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah. So right now, I'm actually looking for my row houses in Baltimore.
Okay.
I do want to
That whole block.
get them. And what I think would be awesome too is if we could get a group of people to come together and actually buy out a block.
We talked about that.
If
Yep.
we could buy
Yep.
people, you buy 3 houses, I buy 3 houses, buy 3 houses. Because also too, when you start to take over the neighborhoods, it also gives you a shoe in the door then to start enforcing things. If you're taking ownership of
Right.
the neighborhood and how to build that neighborhood up, and then you can start making decisions on what goes on in the neighborhood, the security of it, just different laws and things that are enforced in these in the residential areas. So that's something I want to start looking at too. But I do want to start doing the Airbnbs and looking for community projects, teaming up with people to buy out space there.
Gotcha. Cool. I'm already thinking I don't want to say it on air, so we don't want nobody stealing our ideas. We don't want nobody stealing them. Be first or be different,
But
right?
that is awesome because we literally had an appointment in Edgewood yesterday evening, and driving through Baltimore. That's one of the things I said, you know what, is because the stores were like closed, 5 o'clock? I mean,
Right.
it's like a ghost town. On a Saturday, stores are closed.
Wow.
And just riding through the inner city, I was like, wow, wouldn't it be great if someone started buying up, a developer or investor came and they said, hey, we want to buy up this block since the houses are relatively so cheap. And they started block by block. And then before you know it, you would have all one side, and then the change would be
George, right.
coming. Because it's like ridiculous, really, that when you drive through Baltimore, why is it that they haven't progressed
Yeah.
when everything around them is progressing?
Kelly,
A
George
ghost town at 5:30. That's
George Reddick say Kelly is the real deal, y'all. She's definitely someone you would want to work with, very professional and business oriented. Trust me. Ditto. I agree with you. I agree with you. So yeah. So as far as man, that is so cool. I want to talk about what I'm thinking on here. We'll talk about that later. So cool. So what were you working on? Anything non-commercial, residential?
I still have the retail
Okay.
side of it. That's always consistent. And right now I don't have anything going on residential investment wise,
Gotcha.
but I am looking for those properties in Baltimore.
Sweet. So how many mentors can you handle? And if somebody say, hey, I want to put this money up and I want to go in, I want you to mentor me. How many people can you handle at once?
I would say presently, I probably wouldn't do any more than 3,
Okay.
just because I want to make sure that I still have time to do what it is that I need to.
Travel.
But you know what? I've had so many people come and say like, "Oh, I want to learn what you're doing," but they have yet to show up. So, I mean, people always say that they want to, but it's like when you tell them, just like you say, you'll hand them the blueprint. It's like, but who's really going to do it?
Right. And guys, one of those big and international gurus in town now, and at the end of the weekend, they're going to ask you for $20,000 and $30,000. with no guarantee on return on that investment, and you probably you'll never see these people again. So if you had that $20,000 or $30,000, if I had $20,000 or $30,000 and I brought it to you, just say, hey, I want to learn this, invest it. How far can you think that $20,000 or $30,000 would go? Under a mentor, instead of somebody, an out-of-state guru, not just with you, just under a mentor, somebody that knows the market and know what they're doing.
It would definitely go a lot further. And there are a lot of people in this area who will allow you to partner
Yeah.
with them. Especially, you're bringing money to the table. It's a win for them.
Yeah.
They're buying up these houses. They need investors. Not everybody always wants to have to get the money from the bank.
Right.
So if you've just got money and you're sitting on it also too, that gives you a shoe in the door to decide what's going to happen in the renovation.
So you
of the
have some
project.
decisions in that project.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you sitting on that 401k, actually the 401k, do you guys understand how that works? You put that money into that 401k retirement plan tax free, right? And so you tax at this base right here. When you retire, you're at a high tax rate. So you're not really saving anything. That money you saved at a lower tax rate is coming out. It's taxed on it when it come out, but it's going to be taxed at the tax rate that you are when you retire. So you taxed at a high tax rate for money you saved at a lower tax rate. So are you really winning? It sounds like a setup to me that they put in place. So if you got money in the 401k, just sitting there, you definitely want to look at other ways of using that money. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a CPA, but I'm telling you, it's not in your best interest to have that money in a 401k. You might want to talk to an accountant, a CPA, a financial planner before you move that money. Say, hey, curious here on the radio show, I should go buy some prop. And then you call me like, no. But I'm going to tell you, you can't get a better return on your money than invest in real estate. It's especially when you get with somebody that know what they're doing. And you can't guarantee return. There's always risk in investing. But I'm going to tell you, it's almost, once you do your homework, and once you know you got a great deal, it's almost zero risk. Wouldn't you agree with me? Yeah. It's almost zero risk. You really can't lose unless you just don't pay attention to the numbers or you don't want to listen. And then if you go and do something you shouldn't do, then you putting yourself at risk. But I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So you say about 3 people?
3 people.
Cool. So if 3 of y'all ready right now, you got room for 3 right now?
I do.
How can they get in touch with you?
Just give me a call, 240-466-8166.
Hold on, let me put this. They might be trying to dial right now. So they call you now while you're on the show. You say 240.
240-466-8166.
And how do I do this? 8166. There you go.
Awesome. So if you're interested in being mentored by Kelly, give her a call at 240-466-8166 so you can learn all the ins and outs. And
one more question, but you don't have to go into exact numbers, but what are the returns on that commercial deal? What do the profits look like on the commercial deal? You 6 figures, 4 figures, 2 figures?
Well, it depends on how
Residual. It's
much
like,
you invest. So
okay.
you can say instead of you just having your money in the bank where you might get 3%, you can look at probably 8 to 14.
Whoa, 14, man! Hey, sign me up, 14%. Cool. Especially if you about close to retirement, you don't want to run out of money before you run out of life. Cool. Well, thank you, Kelly. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
yes, thank you so much for sharing all this great information and coming on again with us.
You want to close this out?
Well, it's that time again. We're actually a little over, so this is Carrie and Harry, and Kelly is with us today. And thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you again next Sunday.
Peace and love. Get
Have
a piece.
a good
Love
one.
it.